Hi, I'm Michael Lambert. I'm the executive producer, editor, and one of the directors of photography of Connor and Jayden.
So what's your deal?
My deal?
Yeah. I mean, like, are you gay?
Why make Connor and Jayden? It's a good question. There's a couple of reasons for that. My business partner and I, Jerome Elston Scott, he's the writer and director of Connor and Jayden. We've known each other for probably going on almost 30 years now. We met when we were working at Universal Studios in Orlando. We both share a common love for filmmaking. We have very similar tastes and interests, and we both happen to be gay men. When we set out and set up Harbor Heights Entertainment, we said that we wanted to do stories that were representative of our community and the types of stories that we wish that we saw when we were younger. And Connor and Jayden is one of those stories. It's just a simple love story between two kids in high school who are figuring themselves out and just happen to meet each other.
What are you doing here? I want to learn how to cook. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. And the school star quarterback suddenly has a burning desire to be the next Gordon Ramsay.
This story was created as basically a proof of concept, as an idea for a bigger television series based on these two characters. And we started out with a short film, which gave us an opportunity to get to know these characters a little bit more and even expand upon the scripts that we had already written.
So why are you really taking cooking?
You see, I broke my leg,
Yeah.
so now I can't play football.
We felt like it was time to see stories that were hopeful and positive, especially in an environment that we're in right now. And Connor and Jayden is just the first of what we hope are many of those stories. Why is this film important now? I actually think it's probably more important now than ever. There's a lot of negativity in politics in general, and even in the media and the news when it comes to LGBTQ-oriented issues. And I believe that there's a simplicity to the story of Connor and Jayden. It's two guys who are figuring themselves out. They're figuring out their first love, their first relationship in high school, and there's a purity and an innocence to it. And those kinds of stories aren't really reflected in what you see in film today, especially LGBTQ films. You know, we wanted to make sure that this was a story where any drama that exists is not because of them or in their world. Jerome and I both had pretty positive experiences coming out where we had supportive family and friends, and we developed our own friends at that point in time when we were working together that have actually become our own family. And we felt like those stories that are positive, our stories that are positive, should be the kinds of things that we're putting out in the world as part of our programs. How did I become a producer? How does anybody become a producer? I really think it just kind of fell into place. Early on, when Jerome and I became friends, and we were working at Universal, in our downtime, we would create films. You know, we were working at that point in time with people that were immensely talented. Orlando at that point in time was drawing people from all over the United States who were believing that Orlando was going to be the next Hollywood. So we were working in the daytime with, you know, up-and-coming writers and directors and actors and behind-the-scenes people and craftsmen, you name it, they were all there. And everybody was clamoring for experience and to get themselves involved in that world. And I was just exploring what was going to be interesting to me. And I knew for myself, I'm not an in front of camera person at all. And so I knew that while I'm creative, my talents were better served behind the scenes. And so Jerome and I set out to create a couple of films, and I fell naturally into place into a lot of the organizational work that was behind it, but also the creativity of what it takes to actually get a production across the finish line and to wrangle all of the people and property and whatever that it takes to actually get the process done. And so that is where my talents lie. And Jerome is an amazing writer and director. And it's almost a yin-yang relationship. You know, we're able to complement each other in ways that allow projects to take off because we try and cover all bases using the strengths that we have. How was the production process for Connor and Jayden? It was fast. I mean, from the time that we decided that this project was a go to the moment that we started filming was probably less than 1 month. But we decided we wanted to return to the Orlando area to film. We wanted to support the community. We wanted to support friends that we've known for years in that particular area. And we wanted to give an opportunity to some people out there to really help us develop these characters. So we sat out to audition for our main character roles for Connor and Jayden. First person that we met was Ty Newcomb, who plays Jayden. We knew right off the bat that he was definitely our Jayden. He just really captured what we felt Jayden was in his initial audition.
You want to see a movie tomorrow night?
A movie? On a Saturday night? That's like a date.
And then we had received an audition from Christian Barba, who plays Connor, but when he auditioned, he actually auditioned for Jayden. And we saw his audition, which was absolutely amazing and a completely different take on Jayden. But we thought he had something special, and we thought that he was gonna be our Connor. We thought that he was definitely more of a Connor.
You want to see a movie tomorrow night or something?
A movie on a Saturday night, like a date?
So when we put those auditions side by side and we really thought about it, we felt like the combination of Ty and Christian were perfect. And so they became our first parts of the process, really. They were cast probably about maybe a week or a little over a week before we actually shot. And interestingly enough, only met each other about 12 hours before we started filming. The great part was we all had dinner together the night before we filmed, and their chemistry was instant. They got along, fantastically, and they really were the heart and soul of the project. The two of them were enthusiastic about their roles. They were enthusiastic about not only the short, but what its potential was beyond the short. And they really rallied not only themselves and us, but the extras that were on set, the crew that was on set, and everything gelled and clicked. So we went into production. We filmed for 2 days. We decided we were filming 1 day in Orlando and 1 day in Los Angeles. So the 1 day in Orlando was very long. It was about 14 hours long. We went, I think, until like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, something like that. It was absolutely crazy. And then we picked up and we moved to a production in Los Angeles. The music montage segment in Connor and Jayden was entirely filmed in Los Angeles. And also filmed on a marathon day. It was filmed, I think we started at 10 a.m. and we finished the next day at about 4:15 in the morning.
The van to go back to the hotel
4:17 a.m.
at 4:17 a.m.
The guys were absolutely exhausted, but were amazing and just full of energy all the way through. And it really turned out to be a great experience there. But yeah, quick process, very, very quick process. My favorite moment while filming, not necessarily a moment. My favorite part of filming was our day in Los Angeles. Not because we were in Los Angeles, it was more to do with what we were filming. Jerome is pretty innovative in his ideas, and one of the core elements of the Connor and Jayden short that he wanted to film was a music montage segment that paid homage to great American romantic comedies, and take some of the iconic scenes from those romantic comedies that are traditionally carried or portrayed by a man and a woman, and flip it up and have it be where our two male gay characters play these roles. And in essence, it could be anybody. It could be a guy and a girl, it could be a girl and a girl, a guy and a guy. It doesn't really matter. The whole point is to show that a romantic situation and a romantic comedy can happen no matter what the genders are. So my favorite moment was really spending the day recreating in our own way these iconic moments from films. So, doing a scene that's reminiscent to Pretty Woman, doing a scene that comes like straight out of Say Anything, These are all films that we grew up on, for all films that we love, and it was great to pay homage to them, but to do it in our own way. And that, to me, is what made that probably one of the most memorable times that we had. Connor and Jayden, the series, it's a real thing. When we set out to start this project, we had written it as an idea for a series. So 8 episodes are written. It's an 8 episodes, 1-hour drama. And the short is just a small snippet of what this project actually is. Connor and Jayden, the series, takes us deeper into their world. We don't get just the core love story between the two guys. That is at the very heart of the series, but their world expands. In the series, you're gonna get to meet their parents, you're gonna get to meet the townsfolk, you see the teachers and more of the students at the school. And the core of what that story is still the love story, but the drama isn't between the guys. That's what our focus and our goal has always been about our kinds of projects. We did not want the typical story that you see. It's not a bad coming out story for the guys. They don't have drama between them. Somebody doesn't cheat on somebody. Somebody doesn't get sick. It's nothing like that. The drama exists because of the world that they're living in and the pressures that they're up against. And so we see the drama through the eyes of the town, through the eyes of the teachers who are adjusting to the popular high school football player now dating the somewhat social outcast character. And we're excited about it. We actually think that it's a great series, and we hope that we'll be able to bring that to fruition here pretty soon. Am I a Connor or a Jayden? That's actually a good question, because I think I'm a little bit of both. If I look back at myself in high school, I would say I'm definitely more of a Jayden. I was confident in myself at that point in time, like Jayden is confident in himself. He knows who he is. He's not ashamed of who he is. He's confident that, he knows what direction he wants to head in life. But high school isn't his place. He's a little bit of a social outcast. He's kind of into the fringe types of things. He's in choir. He's, wants to be a chef, so he's in home economics class. So, while he's trying to figure himself out, school isn't the place where he's maybe the most outgoing or most confident in showing himself to other people. Doesn't take away from the confidence in himself internally. Connor, on the other hand, is a character who is still figuring himself out, but exudes confidence. He's the high school football player that everybody knows. He's in the popular clique, but he also knows that he's trying to kind of figure his way. And that's probably closer to who I am today, where I still have a confidence in myself. I'm more confident in the outgoing world that I live in, but I'm also trying to figure out a little bit about what direction we're heading in. So am I a Connor or a Jayden? I think the answer is I'm a little bit of both. Why should people watch Connor and Jayden? I think they should watch it for a few reasons, actually. The biggest one is it's a great story, and it's entertaining. But beyond that, we're in a time right now where there's a lot of negativity, especially towards the LGBTQ community. There's a lot of negativity that's out in the press, in politics, and I don't think that it is creating an environment of hope. I think that there are probably young kids out there that are looking at what's going on and looking at the negativity of it and just finding it to be overwhelming a little bit. And when you're young and you're exploring yourself and you're trying to figure yourself out, especially romantically, there's a purity to that. And to be able to create a story that contains both that purity but also has an element of hope, I think is what makes Connor and Jayden special. And I think it's a message that not only LGBTQ youth need to see, but I think it's a message that anybody needs to see so that they can recognize that gay relationships start in exactly the same way that any relationships start. That they can very much be at the core about somebody who is just seeking out somebody else for love. My name is Michael. I'm the producer and editor of Connor and Jayden. Thanks for watching. If you haven't had a chance, check out Connor and Jayden, the film. It's available here on YouTube now. Also, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more from Harbor Heights Entertainment.